Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. Let's talk about the latest episode of The Flash, which is called Armageddon Part 2, so creatively named. And it starts off where we have Despero blathering some more about how Flash is going to go bonkers over some event that occurs in his life and as a result destroy the world or whatever. But he leaves him be to give him a chance to avoid that while keeping an eye on him at the same time. The team then talks to Alex at the new DEO, and she didn't know anything about Despero, it turns out. And they're concerned that Barry's recent leveling up could make him crazy. So apparently he's leveled up a little bit, which we saw some of in the season premiere. And they're worried that maybe it's causing him to go a little nuts. And they, again, have been using the term leveling up. So for some reason, that's recurring. I don't know why they're doing that, but hopefully we'll get an explanation. Caitlin discovers from her scans that Despero is as strong as a Kryptonian. Frost is back this episode, which is kind of weird because why would they bother to explain where she was for one episode, the previous episode? Just don't, she's not there. You don't have to explain it. Anyway, she's back and they're both in the same episode, which is something I was complaining about last week that they weren't doing. Now they're doing it, so that's cool. And she tells Chester that they need to level up and strike at Despero, and that he should make a weapon for that purpose. So again, level up. At a crime scene where a security guard inexplicably lost his mind, Barry is told by Captain Kramer that he's under investigation for seemingly having helped a criminal who'd infiltrated the CCPD sometime before. Now, I don't remember when that happened, but apparently it did, and they're saying now that Barry was part of it. And so the writers now are starting to give him what are called stressors, so that we start to go, oh crap, this is what's going to make him go crazy. So that was the first one. And we see, while this is happening, that Despero is watching Barry to see if he snaps. Star Labs then gets condemned for a bad radiation link, and Barry has to erect hologram walls to hide evidence of his being the Flash, so that the containment team, or whoever else goes in there now, that they're being kicked out, doesn't find it all, as well as erase all of the computers, including Gideon. So again, stressor. It then turns out that a villain named Zotar is going around making people crazy, which explains the bank guy or the security guard, whatever it was. And when Barry tries to grab her, she whammies him, and he seemingly goes bonkers and attacks Team Flash as a result, but doesn't remember it. So he confronts Despero, and he learns that Despero once spared an oppressor after a war on his world, and it led to the oppressor retaking power and banishing Despero to Earth. Chester decides he's not going to make a weapon like Frost had asked him because he's a pacifist, but he's on a crime-fighting team. Anyway, Flash again confronts Zotar, but she is able to levitate him and hurt him with her mind. He manages to generate lightning while at a standstill with nothing beneath him that he can run on to create friction or whatever, or momentum, by vibrating his cells, and he throws a ton of lightning at her. He just throws a ton of lightning in multiple directions, actually, and it takes her down, and it releases all of her victims from her grip, at the same time. Later, the team tells Flash that Joe is dead and has been for 6 months when he talks about going to hang out with Joe. But he seems not to know it until he's shown his memorial plaque at the house, which, goes back to last week where where's Joe and why does it seem like he's dead? So now we know what that's about. Flash unwittingly destroys City Hall, and Despero attacks him, so he runs to the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice,
where he meets up with Black Lightning after we get a nice shot of all the heroes' individual chairs that are there with nice sort of symbols on them for each member, which is pretty cool. And he asks Black Lightning for his help, and that's where the episode ends. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Barry seems to be out of his mind. I don't know why Joe is apparently deceased. There are theories that this is not real, that it's something that Thawne is doing to make Barry go crazy. I don't know. It's not great stuff. I don't think it's great stuff. The cameos aren't really doing it for me. If they bring in Batwoman, I'll like that. When they bring in Oliver's daughter, that's going to be cool. I never really thought much of the Atom. I don't know much about Black Lightning, so I didn't actually watch that show. So far, I'm not jazzed about that. Like I said last week, I miss Cisco. I miss Wells. I didn't say that last week, but I do. The show's been on too long, I think. So I don't know. Hopefully the season gets better. I'm not loving it so far. So that's really all I have to say. I'll be back with a review of the next episode. Until then, I wish you peace and long life.